Hey guys, All American Critic, back at you with a review. This is going to be my first review for Horror Month, October, and I'm going to be doing 8 reviews. I still need some submissions from you guys on what my 8th show is going to be, but I have 7 shows currently lined up, all involving either blood, gore, or some supernatural elements, and some horror elements. Now, and I'm starting this out with a romantic comedy of all things, but this romantic comedy does involve magic and zombies and the undead, and yeah, so it sort of matches. Bear with me, but it is a very enjoyable anime called Is This a Zombie? And Season 2, Is This a Zombie of the Dead? Now, Is This a Zombie? is a romantic comedy with supernatural elements. It's 2 seasons with some OVAs thrown in, totaling about 25 episodes. Our story revolves around Ayamu. And Ayamu was just your generic high school student until he is murdered in some time before the series begins. He is murdered with a sword from behind, and he didn't know who it was. And he is brought back to life by a necromancer named Euclid Hellscythe. And they call her Yu for short. And in his effort to try and find who his killer was, he befriends Yu, and Yu lives with him. And it's just him and her in his house. His parents are like abroad or something. I forget if they even bring it up, but typical anime parents, never around. Now, Ayamu is friends with Yu, and they have this sort of bonding, flowering romance, sort of. Yu can't speak because her words have magic in them. Being a necromancer, she is so powerful that if she were to say the word die, whoever heard it would die. And such things like sleep, whoever would hear that would go to sleep. So she communicates through notes, and her notes are usually funny. They're usually pertaining to her being hungry or just the food that they're eating. And Ayamu provides a lot of comedy with this dialogue as well, because she'll say something in her note, and he's kind of perverted, so he'll picture her saying something like overtly sexual. And it's funny because later on she realizes that this is happening, or you realize that she knows that it's happening, and Ayamu is shocked to know that she knows that's what's happening. And so along the way, we meet Haruna and Seraphim. These are Haruna first is a magical garment girl, almost like Madoka Magica, I guess. Not really, not as dark as that. They kind of just like fight supernatural beings, sort of. And Ayamu accidentally gains her powers. So now, not only is he a zombie trying to live a normal high school life and find out who killed him, he can now transform into a magical garment girl with the saying of a certain incantation. Yeah, I know, it's like a lot to handle. And Haruna loses these powers for some time, and while she's trying to regain them, she lives with Yu and Ayamu. They get another addition to their family, Seraphim. Seraphim is from a clan of vampire ninjas, and she provides a lot of the slapstick comedy towards Ayamu, as does Haruna. Haruna is your tsundere character. I believe the term for Seraphim is your kundere character. I could be pronouncing that wrong. But you have your tsundere and your kundere. And most of the time they're just hurting Ayamu or making fun of him, providing a lot more comedy for the series. But they do grow to have a relationship. This anime is sort of harem-y. It's actually really harem-y. There's some fan service in it. But it's sort of mapped out who he's supposed to be with, obviously. Not saying it's really executed upon, but I kind of like how it wasn't really left totally in the air. Seraphim, getting back to her, was supposed to serve Yu, and instead Yu doesn't really want her services, and she basically moves in with them anyway, moves in with Yu and Ayamu, and now is sort of like their servant, but all she really does is make like really bad food and helps them out in fights. She's really good at fighting, but really, really bad at cooking. And that causes a bunch of actual hurt for Ayamu when he can't swallow or stomach her food. Presentation-wise, the show is animated really well. The music is okay. The openers and closers are alright. Not really my style of music, but they match the show well. Animation-wise, for the openers themselves, they're really good. The ending themes sort of have like your cutesy, like chibi little versions of the characters, which if you like that, you'll enjoy that. I didn't really enjoy it that much, but the song was pretty catchy. The dub was hilarious, and it's hard. I think it's got to be hard for the companies that record these shows, because I feel like a lot of jokes get lost in translation when you bring something over from Japan. But this show delivered on the comedy, 100%. I was laughing out loud in front of my screen several times in these 25 episodes. And that's not to say that there isn't seriousness in it. Season 1 actually has a lot of conflict and action and character development. I would say more than Season 2. Season 1 and Season 2 kind of differ in that way. Season 2 is a zombie of the dead. Has more of a comedic feel to it. Even though there is seriousness, it's kind of like brushed off, I felt. And therefore I kind of like Season 1 better. But Season 1 and 2 are both definitely worth picking up, definitely enjoyable. I found it ridiculously funny. It's without a doubt one of the funniest anime I've seen since The Devil Was a Part-Timer, which is also hilarious. And the characters actually develop really well. We actually get side characters too that develop. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's other vampire ninjas and there's other magical garment girls. And there's other characters from basically everybody's past that come back and not only change the development or push the development of our main cast, they themselves can develop. One of my favorite side characters was Tominori, who is another vampire ninja from a different clan than Seraphim. And Tominori accidentally kisses Ayamu at one point. And in their culture, in the vampire ninja culture, if you kiss someone accidentally or not, you are going to be married to them. So she's kind of forced into this marriage that she didn't really want. Ayamu doesn't really want it. But eventually she starts to really, really, really like Ayamu, and she starts making him lunch all the time, and she gets really jealous when he hangs out with the other girls. And, typical harem stuff. But she was a cool character, I felt. It was nice to see more vampire ninjas, and has the same voice, Brittany Kurbowski or something like that. The Black Star from Soul Eater is the voice of Tominori. And it's way better to hear her voice a female character than I felt like the voice for Black Star was kind of annoying for a guy. But, I don't know, I think she did a very good job here. All the voice actors did a very good job. The script writing was really good in order to translate well. The show looks good. The story flows pretty good. There's a lot of really funny comedy in it, and it's balanced really well. There are certain things I didn't really like about this anime, and they're not super pushy against it, but I just feel that I wanted more of a closing ending. And I say that because while you kind of know who Ayamu is going to be with, and you know how he feels about this person, and you know how she feels about him, it's not really... I would have liked to see more of it. There's also some side characters from Ayamu's school that I wish were in the show more, and maybe could have developed more. I I just kind of wish I wanted some more relationships to develop as opposed to just the characters. And maybe another season could have done that, but I don't think the show's ever going to get another season. And maybe they felt like that would have made it too serious, but I feel like that would have just made it a little more balanced. That being said, the ending of the show isn't bad, and it doesn't leave you with like too many question marks, although they do kind of just avoid this sort of conflict that they had in season 2. Like it is there, and then it sort of just like goes away, and that's kind of unresolved. But it's not like too serious, I guess, in a show like this, because you kind of overlook it with all the comedy that's going on. The show is really, really funny. If you haven't gotten that yet, I probably said the words really, really funny like 5,000 times. But it's hilarious, and I definitely recommend picking it up. Is This a Zombie and Is This a Zombie of the Dead are definitely some of the best comedy anime I've ever seen. Definitely was a great way for me to start my horror month, even though they're not really bloody or gory or scary. And if you don't like bloody or gory or scary things, and maybe you like some of the supernatural stuff, or if you're just wanting to watch a romantic comedy anime, I definitely highly recommend Is This a Zombie and Is This a Zombie of the Dead. For me, they get a B. They get a grading of a B, and I definitely recommend picking them up. They're not too long, 25 episodes total. You can totally finish it pretty quickly, and it doesn't really drag on. You don't have filler episodes or anything really, and it's all really enjoyable. So yeah, what did you guys think of Is This a Zombie and Is This a Zombie of the Dead? Do you really wish that there was another season? Do you like how it ended? And how do you feel about romantic comedy in the anime genre? Is this one of the better ones? Should I look out for some other ones that are ridiculously good that I may not know about? Anything, please suggest down below, and please suggest another horror anime show for me to do for Horror Month. Stay tuned, because I'm going to be vlogging later on tonight. I'll have a vlog video up at some point. And it is Monday after all. And yeah, stay tuned for next time. I'm going to be talking about High School of the Dead. So yeah, this is the All-American Critic, signing out.